Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next module. Today, we're going to be talking about, obviously, your organic acquisition. Okay, this is super exciting because obviously, if you are not currently running paid ads to get new clients, or you're just starting to warm up your emails, things like this. These are the organic side is what's going to help you build your brand, but also bring in new clients. Okay, so I love posting organic content. I think that if there's one thing I've ever learned about running an agency, it's that nobody can take away your personal brand. And that is what content is going to basically allow you to do. Okay, so let's talk about obviously the creation efficiency secrets that I've built, I've battle tested, I've used this to grow and scale my TikTok channel to huge levels, to gain massive exposure on Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, everything. Okay. And this for a long period of time was actually booking in all of my calls on a monthly basis. And believe it or not, some of the highest quality clients actually came in organically through the content that I was posting. So let's just dive right in. So today's itinerary, obviously, we're going to be talking about, what you need to understand about content, becoming an efficient creator, the filming and editing process. This is very important. And then how you can post more, create and edit less, and still go viral. And then the content genres that you need to be focusing on. Okay. So before you start creating content, 3 kinds of content you need to be making and planning out. Okay. So content that is specific towards your target niche. This will add value through education and entertainment. Content that adds to your online persona. This will place you as the authority to your audience. And then content that is making you more relatable. All right. So this will actually remind your audience that you are a real person going through real stuff. This will also have your audience resonate with you more deeply with your content. Okay. So if you think of some of the biggest creators that you follow, you might follow them because they actually add value to you with, education, through entertainment, through comedy, whatever it is. Right. But you also follow them because you feel as if like you kind of know them, right? You feel like you have like an inside scoop on their life a little bit in that sort of sense. And they almost make you kind of feel like, you're their friend, right? So that's why these 3 different kinds of content are very, very important. So obviously content that is specific towards your niche, you're adding value, content that adds to your online persona, places you as the authority, and then content that makes you more relatable. Okay. So very, 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 very important that you have these 3 kinds of content. All right. If you actually follow Russell Brunson, talks about this quite a bit in his in his traffic secrets series for ClickFunnels and everything. I know like the book series that he came out is phenomenal. I highly recommend reading it. But he talks about this a lot when you're building your online persona, is like the 3 different kinds of content. Okay. So really focus in on this and you'll start to actually build up a long-term brand. Right. Now, the filming and editing process. So film and edit the majority of your content for TikTok. This is very, very important, guys. We live in a short form content type of ecosystem now where like if you focus more of your content and tailor your content for it to be more short form, you'll see better results because you can actually create more volume of it. And that's really important right now. Okay. Especially if you're someone that maybe doesn't have, you don't have a huge YouTube following. You don't have like this huge audience, right? Short form content is the best way to potentially go viral with like one video that you post that brings in a flood of new audience members who like support you because that one video had so much value in it and it helped them so much, or it brought them so much entertainment that now they follow you. Okay. So you can use basically TikTok is kind of like your main source of where you're filming and editing all your content and posting. And then when it comes to actually saving that content, you can use something as like ticksave.io. You can use that to basically save your TikToks from your web browser with no watermark. So you can basically post it to your Facebook Reels, your Instagram Reels, your YouTube Shorts, things like that. Okay. Now, efficiency is everything. Okay. So you do not want to be consumed with having to create and edit content. Okay. So it's important, guys. It's important to create content. However, you will burn out very fast. And this has happened to me many times where it's like you get into a rhythm for like 1 month. You're just creating tons of content like every single day. I remember like I had to get done my work day. I'd go to the gym, I'd come home, and I would just fill my evenings with creating content. And this took a huge toll on me after about a month because you realistically, you don't even really have like a life anymore. You're just basically like going to work. You're doing maybe your few things during the day and then just making content. And that's a lot. It can really take away from the experience of actually running an agency, because the reason why we're all doing this is like, it gives you so much freedom in so many areas of your life, right? So you want to be as efficient as possible. So what I basically do for the filming efficiency side. Okay. So one day every week, I basically carve out now one day every week where I film everything. Okay. So I aim to film basically 10 to 15 videos. I think right now I'm filming even more, but that's just because like this one day is solely dedicated to filming. Okay. make those videos. It's very, very simple. Okay. You don't need to be making 10 to 15 YouTube videos. That's not what I'm saying. You want to create 10 to 15 short form type of videos. All right. So this day is dedicated to filming. All right. So the kind of content you should be looking to make in order to be efficient. Okay. So the text on screen where you point to it. Okay. So typically like the best content on TikTok that really goes off is the stuff that has a high level of engagement. So if you post something that is 7 seconds long and the average watch rate is 7 seconds, or it's even longer because people are flipping through it, that video is going to go viral, like regardless of what's even in it. Okay. Now, this doesn't necessarily apply to like 1 second videos or 2 second videos. I found that the sweet spot is like the 6 to 7 second range. Okay. If you can have videos there and you have a really good high level amount of watch time, your video will go viral. Okay. So the text on the screen where you point to it, duet other creators in your niche. All right. The text popping up on the screen in order. All right. So you have a big call to action and then more text just keeps on popping up on the screen. Again, this helps you create more engagement because people are going to try to watch those points, those bullet points that continuously pop up on that screen. And then of course, value videos, which are 15 seconds to a minute long. Okay. You want to have a good mixture. You don't want to just have videos that like you're, it's just solely made for engagement and stuff like that. Okay. You want to have videos that actually add value. All right. So create this all in one go. And then basically once you have this all filmed, you can go and edit it in that same day, put it in your drafts in TikTok. And then now you have content that you can just basically post throughout the week. Okay. Very, very simple. Now this may not apply obviously if there's like a viral trend going on where like you see that trend and you're like, damn, like I really need to make that. Then in the moment, go ahead and make that. Okay. Because that's obviously it's a viral trend, whether it's a sound or whether it's just like a legitimate trend, go and jump on that. Okay. That's going to help you again, push your content more and help you go a little bit more viral to get more eyeballs, more attention on you. So viral hook ideas, guys, I'm not going to go through every single one of these. These are all for you to use. I use these myself. So, I mean, they're really, really good. These are basically kind of plays. This all plays basically into like the psychology of like when people are scrolling through TikTok, people's attention spans are so bad on TikTok. I do find that like the younger audience, like the quality of traffic might not be the best, but obviously those people are going to, if they follow you for a long time, you nurture them properly, they will become more mature and they're obviously going to be looking for your services down the road, your services or your guidance. Okay. So again, that plays into the bigger funnel side of things. Organic content, it's a long-term game, but these are viral hook ideas that you can basically utilize. Okay. Now there's tons here, but I know that there's even tons more that you can utilize. And we do jump into the psychology in some of the later modules in this section. Okay. So use these to the best of your ability. Now, the main point is obviously, as you can see, these hooks are all simple and to the point. Always looks to make your hook simple, or always look to make your hook look simple and give your viewer enough information for them to understand how watching the rest of the video will help them. Okay. Yeah. Very, very simple, but we do get into the actual psychology, the human psychology behind TikToks and how to make them go viral. If you're trying to just solely make videos that like add value. Okay. So action steps for today. Begin filming your ideas, guys. Super, super simple. You could probably carve out like a little bit of time today and just get used to it. Build a content creation routine and select which day that you'll create and edit all your content. Okay. Begin posting 2 to 3 times per week. Again, you don't want to burn out if you're not used to maybe posting content. Post 2 to 3 times a week, but I would highly recommend you work up to posting 2 to 3 times a day on TikTok. I know it sounds like a lot, but you're just going to get so good at making content that it's going to become really easy to you. I mean, there's some days where it's like I'll post like 5 to 6 times a day on TikTok, and like it doesn't matter. Then I test what content pops off. Whatever goes viral, I just basically post to like my other platforms. Okay. And then after 1 month of posting consistently, you'll have the confidence to post 1 time per day. And then ideally, again, working up to 2-3 times per day. All right. So very, very simple, guys. It's all process. I don't want you to overwhelm yourself thinking that you need to be posting 2 to 3 times a day right away, but just make as much content as possible on that one carved out day every single week, and then post 2 to 3 times per week. Okay. You'll have tons of content in your drafts. You won't be overwhelmed. And you'll actually be able to have and enjoy the freedom that the agency life kind of gives you. Okay. So that is it for today's module, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited for the next ones because we're going to be diving into the psychology behind everything. And all of those are in plug and place for you guys to keep and utilize to the best of your abilities. Okay. So I will see you guys in the next module. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you guys soon.